Hey guys, welcome back to Creativity and Inspiration. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having an amazing day. If you're new, welcome. I'm glad you found us. Today we are talking all about fan blades. I've got some new ideas for you. We're going to create some fan blades for myself, but I'm going to give you a lot of ideas for you as well. So we're just going to jump into this video, and the first thing I'm going to go do before we start is I'm going to remove the fan blade off of its metal attachment that hooks it back to the ceiling fan. Now if you notice, this fan blade would sit like this, so this would be down. But I actually want the white side on the back. Now if your fan blades are dark on both sides, you can put a layer of primer on them, white paint, whatever you want to hide that wood finish. And remember, they are a little bit slick, so you might want to take a little bit of sandpaper and just rough them up so the paint, the glue, everything will stick. So what I'm going to go do really fast is, again, remove these metal arms that hook it to the fan, and I'm going to hit it with a little bit of sandpaper. When I put the metal arm back on, I'm going to flip it so when it's down, the white part, which I'm going to decorate, will be down. We're going to talk all about fan blade safety and why some of you may be going, you can't put those back on a fan. We'll talk about all of that, but first, let's go prep our fan blades, and I'll meet you back here. Oh, and I'm doing 3 today, but we'll talk about multiple fan blades. We'll talk about multiple ideas. So I'll see you in just a minute. Okay guys, I'm back. Here are the arms that I will put back on and all the screws. So I'll put these in a Ziploc, label them just so I remember what they're for, and they'll be ready to go when I'm ready to put these up. Now I hit these with just a little bit of sandpaper, not a lot, doesn't need a lot. And here is the side I'm working on. So again, when I put the arms back on, instead of having them where this will be the underside, it's going to be this way. So what are we going to do with these? What are some ideas that I can use these fan blades for? I am in a whole new era of life. As a lot of you know, I unfortunately lost my husband in December, and I've just had this urge the past month to really live authentically, like what I really want in colors in my home. And you know, when you're married, it's always a compromise. You always compromise. And I want to go very girly in my home now. So I'm thinking a lot of white, a lot of pink, a lot of sage green. And that's kind of the theme I'm going with my fan blades. But here's the deal. Maybe that's not for you. Watch, because you're going to get ideas even if the color scheme is not yours. Now, I do want to talk about one item I don't have and get that out of the way. You can use fabric. Think about cutting squares of fabric or circles of fabric if you want, stitching them together and making a quilted pattern for your fan blade, applying it with fabric glue, trimming off the edges with maybe a little trim, and you're done. It's gonna look amazing. I don't have any fabric to do that, or I totally would, and I don't have time to go shop for fabric currently. But I will show you a picture in the future of having done just that. Now, a lot of you are gonna be like, wait, it's gonna get dusty. It is a ceiling fan. True, but remember, our fabric is going to be on our underside. The top side in my ceiling fans tend to get dirtier than the actual face. But you can also, trick here, home hack, spray static cling spray onto the fabric after you attach it to your fan blade. And that will cut down on the amount of dust that collects. So, we are not working with fabric today. I don't have the right colors. But we are going to be working with paper, and I've got that beautiful pink sage green paper pack, that shabby chic look to it. I've got some lace that has some white, some pink, And then it's got some of that leaf lace in it. I got this off of Amazon. Of course, I'll link it down below for you if you're interested. Same with the paper pack. We're also going to be using some green paint and some napkins. I've also got some book paper, book pages, and we're going to use those. So let's talk about first idea. So let's start with talking about number of fan blades. My fans normally have 5 fan blades on a fan. So what I thought I would do is decorate 3 with pattern texture and decorate 2 with just paint. So the 2 that aren't here, because I have actually 3 fan blades down here, which I'll move you in closer when I begin to decorate. Those 2 that are not here would be just solid sage paint. That's it. Okay? These 3 are going to be decorative. So these are the 3 we're going to work on. So 5 fan blades, 2 are just going to be a solid color. You could pick any color you want. To start with, I want to use this beautiful paper that I did the back of that shelf with earlier. I'm also going to use, I want to start with this beautiful paper that I did the back of the shelf with earlier. I'll link that video above. And some of this gorgeous lace. So I'm going to go through and pick my paper pack really quickly. And I'm going to use this page right here for the pattern, for the birds, the flowers, all of this. And then the other side, what I'm going to do, instead of using this side, I think I'll use the back side because all of this paper is double-sided. I think I'll use the back of the flowers. So let me get this page off. My paper pack is falling apart, which is good because we use it. I use it a lot. In fact, I'm tempted to get another one. Okay. So what I thought I would do is put my birds in the middle. And really it's going to be one bird and a little bit of another bird. It's going to look like that. So we'll put that in the middle, and then on each end, I think I will put some of the flowers, or I may come in on this side and put some of the ivy and the trellis, and at the top, put the butterfly. I'll probably do that instead of flipping it. So let me go get my scissors just to cut off this part right here. Oops. Had it sideways, sorry. Let me go get my scissors to cut this down and my decoupage. I'll be right back. Got my scissors, got my decoupage. I'm going to cut this. Actually, I'm going to cut it. I want it to be on the bottom down there. So I'm going to put it on the very bottom of my fan blade and trim it. And then I will decoupage it down and trim it again. And I'm just holding it. You could put some tape to hold it in place. You can fold it if you want to, but remember, you're not going to wrap it around. You're going to just attach it to the top. So you may have to trim again if you do the fold method, but you may not. So we're going to decoupage that down. I just cut it. We're going to decoupage that down. And then on the top, we're going to come back with the top part of this and kind of fit it in, and it matches up perfectly. That's going to look amazing. So let's do that. Let me get a brush to decoupage. Before we decoupage this down, I want to put a side note in here. So, artist side note. My ballerina, and I'll explain more about the ballerina in a minute, I didn't use decoupage because decoupage is shiny. Even when I use the no gloss one, it's still shiny. It leaves a weird texture. And when I'm doing art, this is mixed media on paper. I don't want that gloss. I don't want to, it just, paint doesn't lay right. I don't like it. So I have found, I'm using my extra gel matte medium. That's what I decoupaged the book page down with on my paper. And if you can see that, there is no gloss to that at all. It's holding beautifully. There's no bubbling. And now this is expensive, but if you buy it not golden, maybe an off-brand, and maybe get a bigger jar, it's going to be more economical, which is what I'm going to do next time, because I love using my gel matte medium to layer my mixed media for my art, because it doesn't have that texture or the glare, the gloss that the Mod Podge does. So just an artist side note there. Okay, now to the Mod Podge. And I'm being very careful because I am dressed to go to work. I know that's kind of dumb. But I just had to get dressed because I don't have a lot of time today. I go to work. Oops. I go to work super early, and it just made sense to get dressed. So what's everybody doing for Mother's Day? Leave me a comment down below. What are your Mother's Day plans if you're a mom? And I will say this. If you are a fur baby mom, you are a mom. So what are you doing? How are you and your fur baby celebrating? You don't have to be a human mommy. I mean, you're human, obviously, but you don't have to be mommy to a human to be a mommy. You can be a mommy to pets. You can be a mommy to a spouse, too, believe me. So what are you doing to celebrate you? And even if you're not a mother or a fur baby mama or anything, you know, celebrate you on Sunday, because we all deserve to be celebrated. We all deserve that special time, that special feeling. So, you know, celebrate yourself. Okay, so we've got that part down. I'm just kind of folding it over the edges so it'll be easy to, made a mess, but that's okay. So it'll be easy to trim off any extra. Okay, now we're going to come in with the second piece, and we're just going to line it up just like that. And I don't want this glossy on top, so I'm not going to go over the top of it with Mod Podge. I just don't want it glossy like that. But I do want to get all that up. I hate going to work with glue on my hands, but believe me, I do it a lot. So, weird thing, yesterday, I had to go do a CT scan. Haven't had one in a while, but you know, the health issues are health issuing. So I had to go do that, and I'll let y'all know if they find anything. Hopefully they don't. But my doctor seemed to think, oh, it's a good idea, go get a CT scan. now, not even wait. It was like, go now. So I went, and we'll see what it says. Okay. So there is our fan blade. It's got its paper. We're going to let it dry. There's the back side. We're going to let it dry, and we'll come back in just a moment and cut it down, add more Mod Podge if I need to, whatever. So I'm going to set this aside. On our next prepared fan blade, again, white side up, I'm going to use a napkin, and I'm going to use this particular napkin. It's so pretty. It'll look so good, and it's the colors that I want. Again, there's the napkin we're going to use, so I'm going to get a napkin out. And what a beautiful napkin. Love the colors. It's kind of the inspiration for a lot of things, which I'm not going to tell you right now, but I will be telling you soon. And I think I'll be able to use just one napkin for a whole blade. Again, you could be doing this with your patchwork fabric. That would look amazing. It would add a different texture, and I definitely want to do that once I have time and go get some fabric. And just make a small quilt for your fan blade. Could also make like a fan blade sleeve if you can sew good enough. Something quilted, favorite fabric that goes with the rest of your fan blade designs. Make a pocket, slide it in, tighten it up, tie it off. You know, it'll have holes. You can put it back on. But then if it gets dusty, all you do is slide it off. That's an idea for you as well. I always save the napkin I peel off. It's great to use as a napkin, even though it's one ply. It works. It's also great to use in painting, and I don't know, is there another layer too? Sometimes there's 3. Sometimes there's just... Nope, yep, there is. See, I thought I saw one. If you can get 2 layers off together, that's great. I never can, so that's fine. And then we're just going to decoupage our napkin onto our fan blade. How beautiful is that going to look? I'm going to cut it because I'm going to need the rest of it for up here. I could tear it if I wanted to, but I'm going to try to do this a little quicker, so... So I normally don't watch like modern movies. Like I'm watching Meteor from 1976, I think, 75, 78, somewhere in there. It's got Sean Connery, just a lot of great actors, you know. So I mostly watch old movies, but because of the Blake Lively shenanigans going on, her lawsuit against her former actor friend Baldoni guy, and don't get me to talk about it because I don't know much about it, and I certainly don't want to say something wrong. And I don't watch modern movies, so I don't know. I just think movies from yesteryear are so much better. The actors seem so more real, you know, so much nicer. I don't want to be rude, but you know what I'm saying. So but anyway, because of her, you know, being in the news, they say she's a witch and all this. Anyway, hearsay. But I watched her new movie, Another Simple Favor, because I like the other actress that stars in it. I just like her a lot. So I watched it, and it's actually pretty weird. I don't know. I mean, it's not a terrible movie. Would I call it a good movie? You know, I'm probably not the best one to be a movie critic for sure, because like I said, I don't watch a lot of modern movies at all. I am an old movie girl, like Network with, oh, what was his name? Network, it had Faye Dunaway and William something. I don't know. Network's good. And then there's another one um, with Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy, and they work for a TV station, and it's a comedy. It's really good. So I like old movies. And if you haven't watched that one, or Network is more serious, but it's also a good one, you should. Okay, once this dries, we'll trim off the extra, and then we're going to come back in and add a little bit of lace. Okay, for our third fan blade, I did this ballerina on paper. As you can see, I sketched her on there, and I just put book page down, sketched her on. It's just a piece of my art paper I have. I'm going to paint her and get her framed. Why a ballerina, Lisa? Have you ever done ballet? Maybe when I was a kid 40, 50 years ago. I don't know. But the reason I picked a ballerina is because ballerinas represent beauty, grace, but also strength, determination. They're such hard workers. They put in so much time. Okay, sorry, had to do a battery change. But anyway, ballerinas represent this amazing strength, determination. They suffer, but they stick to it because it's their craft. It's a passion, and it's so elegant. So anyway, that's why I'm ballerina. And this one is on paper. Like I said, I'm going to paint it, frame it. But I thought, what a great symbol to go on my fan blade. And what I thought I would do is, just like this one, decoupage my book page onto my fan blade, and then sketch out my ballerina. And after I do that, I can paint her in, and I could paint the background, I could do a wash, I could paint her in. So I'm going to do that. But before I do, something else that you could totally do if you don't like color, or you want maybe more of a cartoon vibe to it, a black and white. Of course, any colors will work. You don't have to do the pink, sage green, and white scheme. You could draw on your fan blades with a pen and create a story on your fan blades. If you have somebody going off to college, fan blades don't just have to be fan blades. They can be wall art. You can hang them on a wall by just attaching a hanger to the back. You could put photos of friends, draw little boxes around them in dark, and then sign them and give them as a going away or a happy graduation gift or as a going off to college gift. And they could hang it on their wall in a dorm. It's very lightweight. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and it would be a unique gift idea. Okay, back to what we're doing though. Let's decoupage some book page onto our fan blade real fast. You could decoupage something like this. This is a bug image. There's dog images in dictionaries. There's chrysalis with the butterflies or moths in them. You could cut those out and make a whole fan blade with that if you want to. If you write poetry, you could write a poem on a fan blade with a pretty pen, gel pen, or paint. Or you could write a poem and decoupage it. Or write a poem and blow it up on a printer and decoupage it. There are so many things you can do. You don't have to limit yourself to any one idea. And you certainly don't have to limit yourself to any ideas I'm showing you. I'm just here to get you thinking what means a lot to you. What's gonna, really get your creativity going or make you calm and happy in your space. Because that's what's important. That's when you see a ceiling fan, that's what you want it to do. You want it to spark, interest. You want it to maybe inspire you or relax you. Wherever you're going to put it, you want it to, affect have an effect and not just be boring. Okay, I'm going to decoupage this down real quick, and I'll be back with our fan blades we did at the beginning. They should be dry enough to go to the next step. So this is one finished fan blade. That easy. I'll come in, poke the holes through, but that's it. This is what I'm going to see when I am underneath the fan. I think it looks gorgeous. I think it came out great. Very happy, very easy to do. Okay, I'm back with my napkin one. Again, I'm just going to trim off all the excess napkin. Oh, y'all, my ankle has been killing me. CRPS is no joke, and it's, you know, in my feet. That's where it started. That's where it originated. It's really bad. That's why my doctor did the CT scan, because I've just been in a lot of pain. And, you know, I have cadaver ligaments and only one tendon in that ankle. All right. There we go. We're going to get all the little crusties off. Now, I could stop here. That's perfectly fine, but I'm not. I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay, and I'm going to come in with, where did I put it? Some of this lace, and I'm going to just trim around the edges just to give it a finished look. And again, I got this whole thing of lace off of Amazon, and there's so many. I like it because there's so many options on it, but today I just want a plain one. So let's see here. No, you know what? I'm going to use this one on the edge here. It's kind of this beige one, so I'm going to use this one. I think. We're going to see. Yeah, I think that lace is going to look pretty. What do you think? And we'll do it all the way around our edges, so just let me get it off of here. There we go. And then I'm going to get some of the Mod Podge and just glue it down with that since it's here. And then I don't have to fight with any other glue, just the glue I'm already fighting with. And I'm just going to put the Mod Podge real heavy along the edge. And I know that color's not what I was talking about, like white, but I want that shabby look, and I just think that color looks so pretty. And there is another fan blade with lace. I'll just poke holes on the end to attach the arm back on. But that's what I'll see when it's laying like that. Isn't that pretty? I think it came out, isn't that pretty? I think it came out so good. Okay, we have one more to go. Okay guys, I drew those off camera because every time I try to draw on camera, nothing comes out. I don't know if you can see them. But once all this dries, which will take it a day or two for the Mod Podge to dry enough for me to paint them in, I will paint them in. And then that will be my fan. Remember, we're going to have our paper fan blade, our lace and napkin fan blade. We'll have our ballerina when she's dry. I'll paint her out in the colors. that you see on both of these. And then we'll have 2 fan blades that are just solid, and they're gonna be this color. And it's gonna be a really beautiful fan work of art up on my ceiling. But it's bringing everything that's gonna be in the room up. Your eye, when you walk in that room, you'll see everything down, but then your eye will also follow up. And I think that's a really cool idea. I think decorating fan blades is just a missed opportunity. But remember, they don't only have to go on the fan. If you're worried about what you're putting on them is too heavy, you just put a little magnet on the end and it balances them out. If you're worried about dust, spray them with static, it's spray you spray for your skirts, rub them with dryer sheets, and it will cut down on the dust. Remember, these are going to be facing downward. The images, the lace, the paper, the paint are going to be facing downward. Most of your dust is going to build up on the top, and you can still take them down and wipe them. Also, you could take your fabric and do the same thing we did with paper and napkin. You could also make a sleeve and make it tie at the end. Make like a little fan blade bag almost. That way you could take it off and wash it if you wanted. But if you don't want to decorate fan blades and put them back on the fan, remember, you can decorate them however you want and then put them on a wall. And you can make them sets on a wall. They don't just have to be fan blades for a fan. You could create an artwork using fan blades on your wall. They also make great gifts. Fill them with photos, have friends sign them. Great gift for the young man or woman going off to college. Fan blades, guys. Who knew you could do so much with a fan blade? If you like this video, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with that little bell because a lot of exciting things are happening. I have a big surprise coming. If you want to find out what that is, hit the subscribe button. Guys, thanks for being here today. The magic word today, obviously, ballerina. A symbol of strength, determination, and beauty. Bye, guys. I'll see you soon. Mwah.